one of the best storytelling songwriters to ever do it. Period. End of story. Like the guy would bring you on a journey in every single song, man, and like he could really cut you to the core with his lyrics, man. Whether you like the music or not, man, if you listen and read it, like a lot of his stuff reads like poetry, man. So Jimmy Buffett was one of those artists when like I wasn't necessarily into his music, but you would hear it and it would you tune in and go, man, this guy's on another level. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
that's my answer.
I'll echo that. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Andre
rest
and
in
I were
peace,
just
man.
talking about that.
Who's gonna
Andrea,
fill Jimmy Buffett's shoes, man?
you can't, man.
You can't.
For our
Me.
generation and generations before us, you won't. I don't think you'll be able to fill those now. A younger generation obviously will have their own, Jimmy Buffett storyteller.
We got Kenny. We got
Um,
Kenny Chesney keeping the scene alive when it comes
mhm.
to the beach theme, and he's also another great songwriter. Whether he writes all his own stuff or collabs,
So
regardless, his songs are still along the same lines. Some of them are. So Kenny Chesney's gonna take on a bunch of Parrot Head fans, and my guess is he's gonna do a lot of Jimmy Buffett covers for the next several years to pay tribute. Maybe a good medley or something.
I would hope so. Andrea and I were talking the other night from Andrea Up Late, night shift show on Tuesdays. She and I were talking, and same thing. Love Jimmy Buffett, and we played him quite a bit the other night. But I end up listening to a lot of his, I guess what would be like his ballads or his slower songs, his storytelling. That I mean, like as a kid, when I first heard about Jimmy Buffett, my grandfather was my dad ran a bar, and my grandfather was a sailor. He'd been in the Navy for 30 years, close to 30 years. So he retired, came back home, and my dad ran this bar with a jukebox. And my grandfather, at the time, he stopped drinking, but at the time he would drink a lot, and he what they call basically bullying the jukebox. Like he went over to the jukebox and just kept playing Jimmy Buffett's Margaritaville over and over and over, and to the point where everybody in the bar they were getting mad. And at some point, my grandfather got up to go to the bathroom, and when he did, they told my dad to go over and take that record out, out of the jukebox, which my dad did. Whenever took the record out of the jukebox, and they wouldn't put it back in the rotation. And I don't mean any disrespect to Margaritaville, but that was like one of the first songs I remember hearing, but it never resonated.
It's one of his radio hits, man.
Yeah, true. But then, man, when I was a young teenager, my brother and some of his friends really got into Buffett, and he had a box set of like 4 cassettes, and it was like boats, ballads. I forget the other two, but they were like categories of songs. And I remember listening to like He Went to Paris, Biloxi,
Yeah. Nautical
Son of
Wheeler.
a Huh?
Son of
Yeah.
a son, son of a
Yeah.
son of a
Pirate Looks at
sailor.
40. Yeah, all of that, man. His slower stuff.
Fruitcakes.
Yeah.
Great album.
I loved it, man. And we were actually talking about it. And I, believe it or not, I've never read any of his books. And I bet Amazon is probably moving a lot of Jimmy Buffett books right now, a lot, because I'm probably going to be one of them to go order one.